In this lecture, we are going to create a completely constrained geometry of example 2. Here you can see the example 2 drawing. This example 2 drawing, we are going to generate this sketch. Now we are going to do it step by step. So follow along and do it in the same process that I am going to do. You should always go for step by step approach. Draw a small sketch and constrain it. Then go for another small sketch and constrain it. Draw a profile and constrain it. Then again go for another profile and constrain it. This is the process by using which you are going to constrain it. Let us see. Let us create a new file. We'll click on new icon here and I'll create a new part. Click on OK. Then I'll go to sketch icon here. Click on it. Select a plane, maybe this plane. Click on sketch. And we'll go for sketch view. Always try to create the figure symmetric about this axis. Of course, if the figure is symmetrical, and in our case, this example 2 is almost symmetrical. So, let us keep this origin point at the center of the sketch. So, for attempting this sketch, first we will create an outer rectangle of dimension 100 into 60 and we will constrain it. Then we will go for the smaller things. Let us do it. We will take line and I'll click here. We'll create a vertical line, another horizontal line, another vertical line, and I will drag this point. You can see it is tracking. Click and join. Press on the escape key to exit from the command. And you can see I have formed a complete rectangle. Let us constrain it. As I have already told, it's 100 into 60 rectangle. So let us do it. Here already the dimensions have been given. So you can directly use these auto dimensions and constrain your geometry. This length is 100. Press on the enter key and this total length is 60. You can see the circle, you can see the rectangle has become very small. So what we need to do is, first let us select this dimension which is, and we will lock this so that it doesn't move. We'll select this and lock. Now we will just select the entire sketch and we will keep it somewhere here, which is almost symmetrical to this axis. This is one axis and this is another axis, and our figure is symmetrical to both the axes. Now let us generate the other sketches. Now let us give the dimensions for positioning. I'll double click on this. I will double click on this dimension and we will give a dimension which is half of 100, 50. Press on the enter key. Now I'll select this and lock it. Next we have to give this dimension which is half of this 60. So for doing that, I'll just double click on this dimension and I'll go for 60 divided by 2. Press on the enter key. It will be 30. You can see. Now we'll just select this dimension and lock it. Now let us go for the other small segments. Now let us go for the other small rectangles. If you see here, this is a rectangle Here also there is a cutout, which is a rectangle. Here also there is a cutout. Here also there is a cutout. Let us make that. First we will create a rough sketch and then we will constrain it. We'll take line tool and you can see I'm able to form a point on this line. This is called snapping. Click. We'll create a horizontal line and we'll create a vertical line intersecting this top horizontal line. Click on it. You can see. This similar kind of rectangle we will be doing it here. Again, we'll create a rectangle somewhere here. Prevent this auto constraints. If you draw here, you can see a auto constraint is getting formed, which is equality. Try not to do it now. Later on, when you are proficient with the constraining techniques for improving your productivity. I'll click here and create a vertical line. Press on the escape key again. Again, I'll select a point on this line and I'll create a rectangle something like this. Now, let us go for constraining. For constraining, we have to see the dimension. Let us see the dimension. Here you can see this is 25 and this is 15. Here also 15, 25. So all the horizontal dimensions are 25 and all the vertical dimensions are 15. Let us give that. So this dimension is 25 and this dimension is 15. Let us log these dimensions. I'll log this dimension, log this dimension, and you can go for giving the dimensions for all these entities, and you can go for giving the dimensions to all these lengths, or we can also go for equal constraint. Select on this equal and I'll select this line equal to this line. Here you can see conflict constraint has come because somehow these two have become equal. Here you can see this line has become equal with this line. So this line has been considered as 25, which we don't want. So we will delete this equal lengths. Delete. And you can see. Now again we'll take this equal constraint and I will equate this line with this line. This conflicting constraint is coming because when we created these lines, we were not concentrating on the auto constraints that are getting created. So it is very important when you create a profile, you should prevent the auto constraints. Otherwise, in every stage you will get this window. Here also, you can see the equal length is there, which we don't want. Click on delete. We'll take equal this line with this line. Again it has come. You can see this equal length we have to delete. Now the equality constraint has been given. Again we'll take equal this line with this line. Here there was no conflicting constraint, that's why directly the equal constraint was applied. Now similarly we'll select this line and this line. Again this line. Again we'll take equal constraint and we'll equate this line with this line and this line. Again we'll take equal constraint, this line with this line and this line. Press on the escape key and you can see the figure is completely constrained. Now if you see our sketch, now if you see our drawing here, now let us see the drawing. Here this profile is not there. So we have to trim this profile. Again, this profile is also not there. So we have to trim this line and this line. Let us see. Here, these two lines we have to trim. If you select this, the entire thing will be selected, and if you delete, the entire line will be removed. But we don't want it. We want that only this segment has to delete. So for that, we will use delete segment. Click on delete segment. We'll select this segment and this segment. Again, we will select this segment and this segment for deleting. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and you can see. Now, as we have trimmed this segment, so what has happened is the total length that we have given has been minimized to this 45, and accordingly a new dimension has been given here. We don't want this dimension. We want that from this line to this exact center line or axis, the dimension should be 30. So I'll take dimension here, select this line and this axis, and we'll give a dimension 30. Press on the enter key to acknowledge. You can see that dimension has been removed. Now we'll select this dimension. Press on the escape key first to exit from the command. Now select this dimension and lock it. And you can see we have a completely constrained geometry. We are only left out with the center rectangle. So for forming that rectangle, we can directly take a rectangle tool. Here we have a rectangle tool. Click on rectangle and directly we will form a rectangle. You can see so many constraints are getting created which are not required. These are the auto constraints. So create the rectangle when you don't get this kind of interferences. Now we are not getting any interference for auto constraints. So I'll click here. Press on the escape key to exit from the command, and you can see. Now let us check out what is the dimension of this rectangle. Here you can see this is 30 into 20, and this position is also given. From this top it is 20 mm, and from this side, which is the left hand side, it is 35. So let us give the dimension here. This dimension has been given as 30. Press on the enter key. Again, this dimension has been given as 20. Press on the enter key. Immediately, I'll press on the escape key and select this dimension and lock this so that they do not change dynamically. Now, we'll go for the positioning. The position from this edge, I had shown you, it is given as 35. Press on the enter key. Now, the position from this top edge to this line, we have been given as 20. Enter. Select this dimension and lock it. Again select this dimension and lock it. And you can see we have completed our completely constrained geometry of example 2. In the next lecture, we are going to see tracking and snapping.